Hello, my name is Tycia, and today I am starting the 3-day military diet. And I wanted to tell you a little bit of my background story. A lot has happened in regards to my struggles with weight loss, and I have struggled with it all my life. I wanted to tell my story because it weighs heavy on me, and anyone who struggles with weight knows there are reasons that it happens. So it's not to make excuses or pass blame, it's just my story. So when I was a child, I ate healthy, and at least according to the information we had back then, it was typically considered a healthy diet. So I had Raisin Bran or Wheaties for breakfast. Sugary cereal was just out of the question for me, and my parents didn't keep it in the house. Um, for lunch was a turkey sandwich on wheat, milk, carrots, and occasionally tortilla chips. Dinner would be one chicken drumstick, salad, rice, and milk. And with all this information, you may guess that I was probably an average sized girl. Well, I wasn't. And instead, I was often the butt of jokes with many of the kids in my class. Um, they considered me the biggest girl in the class, and by the time I was 12 years old, I was 140 pounds. I looked around and saw everyone else eating chips, pop, candy, and I'm over here getting bigger and bigger. And it just felt so unfair sometimes. When a child is overweight, it is hard because it feels like you have no help. Diets are out of the question, and since I was already eating decently and I didn't know what to do, I was in sports. I played basketball, volleyball, I was on the swim team, baseball, and dance. And when I wasn't doing that, I got involved with the YMCA and did weight training. And I started playing sports when I was 5 or 6, and it lasted all through junior high. It was exhausting being this way, being made fun of, and nothing I was doing was changing it. When I did finally end up losing the weight, I wasn't even trying to lose weight. It just happened. And for unrelated reasons, I was put on a medication that was one of the biggest side effects was weight loss. After only 6 months, I dropped 45 pounds. I got down to a total of 95 pounds, and people started asking me if I was anorexic because I lost the weight so quickly. I had to explain to them that it was just the side effects of the medication, but slowly I did start going into panic mode. I didn't want to gain the weight back. Suddenly, food was my enemy, and I was fighting it head on. I started skipping breakfast and lunch, and I couldn't get myself to eat. I felt hunger pain, and instead of running to grab food, I let it consume me. I was addicted to the sensation that hunger gives, that burning sensation. I lived for it. I would look in the mirror and I'd still see fat all over my body. I'd starve myself more, and to the point where I would nearly pass out on several occasions. Um, if I wasn't anorexic, I was very, very, very close to it. And I also contemplated bulimia for a while. I managed to keep the weight off until I was about 17. And I was put on yet another medication for something called OCD. And I slowly started gaining the weight back, even though my diet hadn't changed. I was still skipping breakfast and lunch, and dinner was the same night after night. My hatred toward food continued to grow, and again I felt helpless. By the time I was 18, I had gained all the weight back, and then some, and I was 165 pounds. At this point, I graduated and moved away with my now ex. And I will admit being on my own and having the freedom to choose whatever I wanted to eat, I did go off the deep end for a little while. I bought fast food more frequently than I had gotten it before, and at first it wasn't too much. I'd say it was maybe 2 times a month, but going from having it maybe once every 4 months really shocks my system. And I was okay with that at first because I felt I was just treating myself for years of eating healthy. My ex and I lived with his parents, and he was a year younger than I was, and he was in his last year of high school. So I didn't really have, like, neither of us really had any money, and his parents refused to put groceries in his house. Not that I thought that they needed to take care of me in any way, because I'm not their child, but he was, and the situation wasn't good for him. The nearest bus stop was a mile away, and while we walked to it all the time for other destinations, to do that and get groceries and walk back with those groceries, it was going to be very, very difficult for us, let alone the fact that, it's $200, and at least for, that should be actually like one person. And it just got really hard, and instead we both got a part-time job, and his parents usually ran to the nearest Jack in the Box for us at 2 o'clock in the morning, because that's when they got off of work. And if we were lucky enough to go to the store, they'd let us have 5 minutes and then threaten to just leave us there at 2 o'clock in the morning. So neither of us had a car, and his parents, they refused to help us get our license, including him. Everything we tried to grow in our life, they'd refuse help or moral support. And just to give an example about how hard it was and how much they wanted us to not succeed, his father once told us he'd rather us live on the streets when we told him that we were looking into getting our own apartment. Literally said, "I'd rather you be on the streets, and I will do what I can to make that happen." So we were at a loss, and I was never looking for a handout. I just needed a solution that never came, and perhaps I could have done more, but it was a very hard time in my life. Not only was that going on with his parents, but my ex was also abusing me behind closed doors. And I sank into depression, and I was still starving myself and ate fast food every night. But that was all I ate. My one lonely meal at 2 a.m. It was about 180 pounds when I found out about the 6-week body makeover. And at the moment, I knew I just had to try it. I told my ex about it, and he said it was a good idea. And I wanted to do the diet and go on YouTube and document it. I wanted to share my experience and give hope to others. Unfortunately, my ex had other plans and foiled every chance I had to buy the diet. He would take my checks for my job, and when that failed, he told me that he already bought it for me and he just has it somewhere around the house. I would go looking for it. He'd tell me, "Oh, I put it out in my father's shed and now it's locked up and sorry, can't get to it." Finally, after getting the nerve to leave him, I finally got the diet and started working on myself. I got on YouTube, and it was wonderful. My heaviest weight at the time was 242 pounds, and I got a few videos out before my webcam broke. I kept going though, and I lost a total of 55 pounds, ending in 189 pounds. I was ecstatic, and I lost all that weight using the 6-week body makeover. I love the diet. It's hard, but it delivers its promise. And the biggest downfall, though, is that it is a huge financial burden, at least how I was managing it. And I would love to figure out a way to do it again and afford it, but I just can't see a way around it. It's a lifestyle change, and you have to get a lot of saltless products and things like that, which really adds up. So it's basically like starting from fresh, you know? And it just was a very, very financially burdened me. And so I kept falling it off of it every time I'd run out of food and wouldn't have grocery money. So I tried to, you know, just kind of do my own thing and just gain that weight back. And it was like starting over all over again, because for me, just eating normal or healthy or making healthy choices, for some reason it doesn't work for me. Like, I have to do something specific every single time, or for whatever reason my body just doesn't like to lose weight. Well, it likes to lose weight, but it's very picky. Is all I have to say. I mean, it's not as simple as go out and get carrots and vegetables and things like that. It's, you need to do something that somebody else has already done and they got results. And a lot of me thinks it's probably allergies. At some point in time, I will look into that. For now, I stay away from the things that I think might be causing it, except for the fast food, because that's my biggest downfall right now, you guys. And yeah, so I finally have the equipment to do this journey on YouTube, and the diet plan that is affordable, I have finally figured one out. So I cannot wait to start this journey. This time around, I'm not going on the 6-week body weight makeover. I'm actually going to be doing a different diet. Right now is the first day I'm going to be on the military diet. I've had my breakfast and my lunch, and it was delicious, and I can't wait for tomorrow. After the 3 days is up, my husband and I came up with a plan that seems to help us pretty well. We've been on it before. We make a smoothie with vanilla yogurt, various fruit, and for the liquid, we just use water. And if we want to get a little crazy, we throw in some honey when we get a little sweet tooth. And then we have eggs and toast for lunch with salad with homemade ranch dressing made from non-fat Greek yogurt and some ranch seasoning that I made. I have a recipe that I will probably pin to the description if anyone's interested in that. I don't know if it'll be in this video or next video, so be on the lookout for that. And then for dinner, we do chicken, broccoli, or any other vegetable without, we stay away from things like potatoes and things like that. Starting today, October 13th, 2017, I will not eat fast food for 30 days. Today I weigh in at 230.6, and again, I am so excited to embark on this journey with you guys. Until next time, love y'all. Bye.